It is Y105, Dubuque's #1 hit music station. My name is Steve Pulaski. My next guest is a professional skateboarder turned author, motivational speaker, and more. Former CKY crew member and one of the many stars of the show Viva La Bam. He will be in Dubuque on Saturday, September 12th at the University of Dubuque Heritage Center for a free speaking event brought to us by Hillcrest Family Services. He will share his inspiring story of his own addiction and recovery as part of Recovery Month in September. He is Brandon Novak. He joins me now. Brandon, how are you?
I'm great, my friend. Way better than I deserve. How are you? Thank you for having me on today. I'm really grateful to be here.
I'm grateful for you to be here as well, Brandon. What can people expect from this event in Dubuque on September 12th?
You know, kind of my deal, the thing that I travel the nation and talk about is primarily the disease of addiction does not discriminate, right? From Yale or jail, the White House or the outhouse, the results are all the same. And the sad reality is 1 out of 3 people will be affected directly or indirectly by the disease of addiction or alcoholism. So I kind of share my story from the platform that I've been so blessed to gain over the years to let people know that the disease of addiction is not a death sentence, right? That your history does not have to dictate your future, but it can absolutely guide and direct it. And the honest truth of the matter is, as long as you're breathing, it is never too late. You know, I'm coming up on 12 years sober. I suffered with heroin addiction and alcoholism for the better part of 21 years. So, you know, if I can do it, so can you.
I'm really excited for you to come to Dubuque and share your story. As a big fan of you and your story, Brandon, I want to give you the floor to talk about the work you do for those struggling with addiction, because you do a lot. You got your hands in many pots, and it's hard to quantify how many people you've helped.
Yeah, you know, I hear all the time the question that's always asked, how can we change? How can we change the outcome? How do we change the world? How do we change the world? How do we change it? And I don't have the answer for that. But what I do believe is that if we all kind of slow down and take the time to help one person as they did to me, 1 + 1 = 2, 2 and 2 is 4, 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 8 is 16, and before you know it, you're changing the narrative, which then ultimately changes the world. And with a guy who's been blessed with coming up on 12 years sober, how dare I forget where I came from, or that gentleman that took the time to slow down simply long enough to help this hopeless, helpless alcoholic save his life. So I've literally devoted my life helping people who are where I once was. I've opened 2 addiction treatment centers, Redemption Addiction Treatment Centers in Wilmington, Delaware, and Pennsville, New Jersey, and I have 7 sober living houses, 7 houses with 70 beds, called Novak's House. And I travel the nation in hopes to raise enough finances to provide scholarships for anyone in need, because my mission really is to never let price be a deterrent as to why someone can't find the adequate help, that not what they need, but what they deserve.
Where can people learn more about Novak's House?
They can go to my website, brandonnovak.com, or if you're out there struggling and you need help, you could call me and my team directly at 610-314-6747.
And you can find more information about Brandon Novak's upcoming appearance at UD Heritage Center on Hillcrest Family Services website and Hillcrest Family Services Facebook page. Again, he's going to be in Dubuque on September 12th. He is Mr. Brandon Novak. What's a common misconception, Brandon, that people have about addiction of any kind?
The one that I come across the most is that, you know, we are terrible people that just get off on doing terrible things to anyone who crosses our paths. And it's quite the contrary. We're really good people who've been diagnosed with a terrible disease that makes us make terrible decisions. You know, and that's the truth of the matter. I'm not just an addict. My name is Brandon, and I have a heartbeat, and I have a mother, and I have a father, and I have a family. And because people believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, I actually stayed sober long enough to start to believe in myself. And today, because of that belief that others held in me, I'm a productive member of society, and for that, I'll be forever grateful.
What's it like when you go into prisons? I know that's a popular venue for you when you go and do speaking and stuff like that. What's it like to look those people in the eyes that have been dehumanized and sort of rejected by society? I can only imagine it's a sobering experience each and every time.
Yeah, that's my demographic. Those are my people. That's my wheelhouse. And you know, my work is actually prevalent in jails, in in rehabs, in psychiatric units, and I don't know what that says about me, but those are the areas in which I shine. And the truth is, as an addict or as an alcoholic, and I can speak for the masses, what that means if I say, hey, my name is Brandon, I'm an alcoholic, is that I'm defiant by nature. I hate authority, and I refuse to conform because I possess one job, and that job consists of knowing everything. So when people politely suggest to me what I might want to do in order to change or save my life, I politely suggest why they should get lost, because I know. So me going into those venues, sharing my story about me, not telling them about their life, like, who wants that? When I'm finished my talk, the general conception usually is, if he can do it, why can't I? So it's all being done in a form of attraction, not promotion.
I know for years you've been trying to get a documentary made about your struggles and your recovery and your sobriety, the Brandon Novak Story. What's the status of that documentary? Is there any update?
Funny you should bring that up. I actually had a call this morning about it. We have the footage. The footage has been documented. Bam started filming my whole deal when he originally brought me up from Baltimore to live with him in Pennsylvania to get off of heroin. So we have an abundance of footage. It's just that it got so big. It's like larger than life, and it starts and then it stops. And right now I'm in the process of finding an adequate editor that actually has the time to devote to it, because I'm financing it myself. So that's the beauty. It's the blessing and the curse. I'm not under a deadline or a guideline, but it's hard to kind of stay on top and give that thing momentum that it needs.
I've been checking for updates on that on a yearly basis, so I understand.
I want it, if not just as bad, if not worse than you. When that thing is done, I think I can die a happy man. But just know that the footage exists. We don't need to do any filming. It's just the editing process now.
When was the last time you talked to Bam?
It's been a minute. He's pretty consumed with his career, as am I, and he seems to be in a really good place from what I understand. He's skating a lot, but as far as him and I having a conversation, it's been a couple years.
Now, it got dark for him there for a minute now, but it really seems like over the last couple of years, he's really cleaned up and been on the straight and narrow in a really positive way, kind of reconnecting with his skateboarding past in a positive light.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for him. I owe my life largely in part to him, at least who I am and where I'm at today, by him extending that olive branch of an offer to allow me to get out of Baltimore, get off of heroin, and come live with him and Phil and April at the time, in the earlier years of creating CKY. So I'm forever indebted to that man. I love him to death. And hopefully God will see fit for our stars to align and our paths to cross in the future.
You stay in touch with other CKY members?
Yeah, I actually was, Raab was just at my house last night. I did his podcast. He came over here and filmed the podcast, and we did the ice bath and sauna. And I see Rake, and those are the two that I see. And April and Phil I see a lot.
Any word from Deco? I know he kind of retreated to the private life and everything like that. Any word from him?
Yeah, no, nothing at all. Not a word.
Back to the event that's happening September 12th, Brandon. What do you say to someone maybe who is in bondage to drugs or alcohol, who is thinking about coming to this event, but is maybe on the fence, shy, whatever the situation may be, somebody thinking about this event? What do you want to say to that person?
That, for me, I could not do this alone. And the harder I tried to go about it in my own manner, I continued to get alone kind of result. So what I know today is that the opposite of addiction or alcoholism is connection. And what I could never do alone, we ultimately could do together. So for that person that's out there entertaining the notion of checking it out, it can't hurt you. It won't do you any... It won't do you a disservice, right? I'm not going to come and tell you about you or what you need to do. I'm simply telling you about my insane, outlandish stories that landed me in some really unfortunate positions that I'd rather have not ended up in, but literally turned out to be the best things of my life that allowed me to turn my life around and, be in this position today where, you couldn't tempt me with a drink or a drug no matter how much money you put on the table. And that in itself is insane. Literally to party 24/7 for the majority of my life.
Saturday, September 12th, he will be at the University of Dubuque Heritage Center for a free speaking event brought to us by Hillcrest Family Services. He's Brandon Novak. Again, find out more information on that and to pre-register. It is a free event, but registration is encouraged. Hillcrest Family Services website, Hillcrest Family Services Facebook page. Brandon, you're wonderful. I want to give you the final word, man. You can promote the event. You can promote your website. You can promote your great book, Dream Seller. I want to give you the final word, man, however you want to end it.
I just want to let people know, first, I want to thank you for being so kind and taking the time to allow me to share your platform with you. You do an amazing job, and I'm a big fan of you. But the truth of the matter is there's no need to suffer in silence. We all have our own vices, whether it's drugs, food, gambling, sex, porn. But if you're looking for a way up and out of your position, reach out and ask for help because it is available, and I literally will do whatever I can to get you out of the position that you have created for yourself as a result of one of those vices. So call me directly, 610-314-6747.
BrandonNovak.com as well. You can find all resource links, learn about Novak's house and Brandon himself. Brandon, I'm grateful that you're coming to Dubuque on Saturday, September 12th. Can't wait for the event. Thank you very much for your time, man.
God bless, brother. Take care.